Redondo, who is a proud queer immigrant and someone I just met the other day. So good to introduce you. Come on up, Jersey.
Hello, everyone, and I just want to take this moment to take it in real quick. I'm super excited to be here in this historic day with all of you. As I look back 18 years ago, when I crossed through the Arizona border from Mexico, it would never cross my mind that I would be standing here at our nation's capital, speaking on behalf of our communities. My name is Yersaia Redondo. I am queer and a dreamer. I am part of QUIC, United We Dream, the largest immigrant youth-led organization in the country. Today and this day, when our country moves forward for justice and equality for all, we are here to make sure that the country knows that we, the immigrant community, are fighting for equality for immigrant and LGBTQ communities. It is always the right time to build alliances between social justice and movements. And for us here today, it means that immigrant rights and LGBTQ rights must intersect to protect our LGBTQ and immigrant families. Yeah. We know too well that policies like DOMA and deportations separate families in our communities. This must stop. I am here to voice immigrant community support for LGBTQ equality, and we, as the LGBTQ community, must come out in solidarity and support for immigration reform and the ban of DOMA. We must come together to break down those closet doors, go beyond borders, and protect and love the unity of our communities and families. LGBTQ rights are immigrant rights, and immigrant rights are LGBTQ rights. Before I go, I want to leave you with this quote, because we must remember that we are one family, one community, united for full equality for all. And the quote goes a little like this: it is our duty to fight for our freedom. It is our duty to win. We must love each other and support each other. We have nothing to lose but our chains. Thank you, and we could do this, united. Si se puede, we can do it.
Si se puede! We dream. Talk about trailblazers here with us today. Well, talk about trailblazers, you all are in for a treat. Our next speaker happens to be a real trailblazer. He tells it like it is at all times in his work and in his life. It gives me a great amount of pleasure to bring up the Reverend Lennox Yearwood, the president of the Hip Hop Caucus.
Man. Wow. So, before I get started, let me just say this, that I need you to make some noise. Okay. That's not going to cut it. That's not going to cut it. Now, if you've been dealing and fighting for this moment all your life, make some noise. For the folks who are mad and surrender at the mic, make some noise. If it's time for marriage equality now, make some noise. And you need to do me a favor right quick. I need you to turn toward the Capitol. Turn toward the Capitol.
Go ahead.
I need you to turn toward the Capitol. Now, we'll try that one more time. If you're ready for marriage equality, make some noise! Okay. Come on, don't stop, don't stop, don't stop! Don't stop! All right, okay. Now you got everybody's attention now. Let me say this. This is, you know, I was a chaplain in the U.S. Air Force. And one of the things that I would say to young couples coming to get married would be, why? Why would you want to do that? I would tell them all the time, I would say, love is blind, but marriage will open up both your eyes. So I can't understand why anybody would stop anybody from getting married. I can't understand that. But this really is for you. And this is the serious part of what I wanted to say. This part right now is for that young brother or that young sister who is gay and lesbian and couldn't take it no more. And they took their lives. This is for that young brother and that young sister who's queer, who was afraid to tell their mama or their daddy that they wanted to marry somebody who they love. This is for that young person or that old person who's been dealing with this and have to go to their family and sit everybody down and tell them that I love this person and I want to be with this person for the rest of my life. This is for love. This is for that kind of. And if you don't understand that, you won't understand what I'm saying. Because some of you know what I'm saying. When you've been persecuted, you've been put to the side, you've been put down, you've been laughed at, you've come and been told, why do you want to do that? How come you want to do that? Can't you just marry her? Can't you just marry him? Can't you become straight? Why can't you be that way? When we say no! We stand up now for all those in the 20s and the 30s and the 40s and the 50s and the 60s and the 90s and this century who fought for this moment. You stand on hallowed ground right now. Through the blood and the sweat and the tears of all those who could not make it. But now we stand here at the precipice of change, at the moment of justice. We stand here right now, and what we say with our fist to the air, all over this Supreme Court. Raise your fist to the air, all around, all around, all around. And we say it my way. We say, can't stop, won't stop. 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 God bless you.
All right.
This next speaker takes both of us because we both owe so much to this next speaker.
We love this next speaker.
She's a mentor.
She's a leader.
She's a friend.
She's an organizer.
She's a political brain in Washington.
She has led just about every single movement that this town has ever seen.
That's right. We could go on.
And on.
And on.
And on.
But we won't.
But we won't.
Instead,
we're going to bring on the speaker.
Let's all give it up for our friend, our mentor, our leader, our organizer, Heather Booth. You are beautiful! That when we organize, we can change the world. And only when we organize will we change the world. As we gather here today on the steps of the Supreme Court, it's important to know that fair-minded and justice-oriented Americans are also gathering all around the country. On the courthouse steps of Billings, Montana, in the church halls of Flint, Michigan, on the streets of Jackson, Mississippi, and I was born just outside of Jackson. Thousands and thousands of allies in this struggle for equality are standing up with us at this same moment, calling on our nation to push and pull and prod the moral arc of the universe, finally to bend toward justice. While we gather today, we know that in places like Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and Casper, Wyoming, and Frankfort, Kentucky, that our families struggle to make a living and fight against all odds to live the American dream.
We know that it's in places like Tallahassee, Florida, and Wichita, Kansas, and Porterville, California, that the very act of standing up for our families and telling the truth about our lives is a dangerous and courageous act. But that's changing. It's changing because of you and our numbers magnified around this country. This week, over 170 events are taking place in all 50 states and Washington, D.C. that demonstrate one great abiding truth, that this country is still the land of the free. It's still the home of the brave. We'll continue to organize with force until lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and all Americans are fully equal under the law. And it is when we talk to others who are not already convinced, it's when we organize that we have our power. Heather Cronk of Get Equal and Brian Silver of Marriage Equality USA were the organizers who supported these efforts in the field. All of you are helping to turn around this country by your heart and the inspiration you provide. What each of us does makes us stronger when we work together. In spite of the strains and struggles, we're stronger and we're more powerful together. We thank you all. We thank these fabulous moderators. We thank our allies. We thank the families and children and all of us working together for a better world and for marriage equality. I came into this movement to build a better world in 1960 in support of those protesting at Woolworths, where African Americans couldn't sit at the lunch counters in the South. But because people organized, we helped to change the world. And the same is true with marriage equality. It all depends, though, on what we do. If we organize, we will win marriage equality and we'll change the world. But this is not the end of the struggle. The struggle continues beyond today, beyond the decision expected in June. If you will be there and continue the organizing, say when I ask you, yes, we will. If you will be there, say, yes, we will. Will you be there?
Yes, we will.
Will you be there?
Yes, we will.